Welcome to Sports News. Heartland Football Club has been relegated from the Nigerian Professional Football League after the league management company awarded the abandoned matchday 28 encounter to Plateau United. Players of Heartland angrily walked out on the game on Sunday in the 75th minute with a score at 1-1 following a dispute with the referee's call. Heartland was fined 3 million naira for violating the rules governing the league. This decision means the Naza Millionaires will play in the second division along with Giwa Football Club, Ikorodu United and Warri Wolves. Now to internationals. The Nigerian Football Federation has promised to offset the Super Eagles win bonus for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Tanzania. The Eagles defeated Tanzania 1-0 in Uyo early last month in a final AFCON qualifier, but the players are yet to receive their bonuses. The players will also get a refund of their flight tickets as well as camp allowances for the World Cup qualifier before they leave for Zambia. President of the Federation, Amaju Pinnick, has charged the team to get off to a winning start in Ndola on Sunday while reassuring them of total support from the NFF. In tennis, Elina Svitolina today secured a surprise 6-3-7-5 win over German world number 1 Angelique Kerber in Beijing to advance to the China Open quarterfinals. The 16th seed saved 9 of 10 break points in the opening set, 6 of them coming in a topsy-turvy 9th game before unleashing a forehand winner past the stranded Australian and US Open champion to seize the first set after 45 minutes. The 22-year-old Ukrainian will next face Australian Daria Gavrilova, who beat Caroline Garcia 6-4, 6-3 in the last 8. And elsewhere, in the Japan Open, second seed Gael Monfils earlier today beat French compatriot Gilles Simon 6-1, 6-4 to advance to the quarterfinals. Monfils next faces 7th seed Ivo Karlovic of Croatia, who had a tougher time in Tokyo against Janko Tipsarevic, eventually defeating the Serb 7-6, 7-6. And the World Anti-Doping Agency says hackers who leaked medical records of some of the world's biggest sports stars may have doctored some of the data. The Fancy Bears published documents stolen from WADA claiming they wanted to highlight doping in sport. Most records showed when athletes had been given permission to take banned substances to treat medical conditions. A WADA investigation has now found not all data released by Fancy Bears accurately reflects WADA's own data. And that's Sports News. It's back to Ijoma with the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks a lot, Charles. 11 people have been killed in clashes in the Pt.4 neighborhood in the capital of the Central African Republic. Fighting erupted there after Commander Marcel Monkemba, a former aide to former President Catherine Samba Panza, was shot dead in his car on Tuesday. The country has been plagued by interreligious violence since 2013, when mainly Muslim Seleka fighters seized power, prompting reprisals from Christian militias known as the Anti-Balaka. The UN says 6 people, all of them civilians, were killed in the northwestern province last week, but unidentified assailants who had fired on UN peacekeepers. And more than 100 people have reportedly died since Hurricane Matthew hit Haiti. Officials had initially put the number at 23, but warned it could rise. Hurricane Matthew has left devastation in its wake in Haiti, wiping out the southern African province, the southern province in that region, I beg your pardon. Authorities say the town has been virtually cut off from the rest of the world because of broken down communication since the hurricane. New pictures have been released showing flattened houses and food and medical services badly hit. More than 300,000 people are now in dire need of help. And Portugal's former Prime Minister Antonio Guterres has become the new Secretary General of the United Nations. Guterres was nominated unanimously by 15 council members during a closed-door meeting at the UN. The 67-year-old has worked in the UN as head of the Refugee Agency for 10 years. Although his nomination was widely welcomed, there had been hope the UN would be appointing its first female Secretary General from Eastern Europe.
Our sixth straw poll, we have a clear favorite, and his name is Antonio Guterres. And we have decided to go for a formal vote tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and we hope it can be done by acclamation. This is what we are looking at. So tomorrow morning, acclamation vote, and wish Mr. Guterres well in discharging his duties as the Secretary General of the United Nations for the next 5 years.
And the main news again. Federal lawmakers today resolved to summon President Muhammadu Buhari to brief a joint session of the National Assembly on plans to get the country out of recession. The Senate adopted the resolution earlier taken by the House of Representatives. Also today, President Muhammadu Buhari asked the political class to build on the success of the 2015 general elections to nurture the country's democratic process. And in Haiti, Hurricane Matthew left more than 100 people dead after ripping across the island nation. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Kenyato. Do have a good night.